The day has finally come. Bitcoin to $100,000. Congratulations if you've been in this industry for a long time. We've been waiting for this moment for years. In this video, we'll of course be going over what is happening with Bitcoin, but with a Bitcoin above 6 figures, what does that mean for the altcoin market? Let's dive right into it. On the Bitcoin chart here, we can see the $100,000 Bitcoin in all of its glory. We actually went all the way up to $104,000 pretty much exactly. And this is something I was actually talking about on my channel previously. If we were to cross the $100,000 mark with a lot of momentum and confidence, it wouldn't surprise me if we went a few $1,000s over before coming back down and consolidating. Right now, we can see that Bitcoin is just above $100,000 at about 100.5. Now, taking a look at some of the biggest pieces of news in the space, at this point in time, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy's Bitcoin investment surpasses $18 billion in profit. But the thing with this guy is he is very unlikely to sell his Bitcoin anytime soon. And it's not just Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy that are reaping the rewards of a $100,000 Bitcoin. The president of El Salvador now has a Bitcoin balance of over $600 million. Now, as we can see here, he is over $300 million in profit since adopting the Bitcoin standard for his country. The Bitcoin spot ETFs are also not showing any sign of slowing down, over $500 million in volume for the past 2 days. The sell wall has been crushed. I've been talking about the sell wall for quite some time now, between $98,000 to $100,000. So many people were trying to sell their Bitcoin at those levels, but we can see that we absolutely flew by that level up to $104,000 today. So it turns out that that sell wall wasn't that challenging after all. And the funny thing is, we only got rejected below $100,000 really once, which is quite surprising because when we were between the 50 to 70K range during that 8-month consolidation period, it seemed like we were never going to get out there. We had gotten rejected at 70K so many times. And actually, if we take a look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is right below 70K. And then a 5th time right before we broke out to new all-time highs. So the 70K milestone seemed to be more challenging to break for Bitcoin than the $100,000 milestone because it took us 2 attempts. 2 attempts is all it took. Now, what's going on with altcoins? Last video, I told you guys that altcoin season has officially begun, and we can see here that there has been a crazy drop in Bitcoin dominance. Now, obviously, we popped back up a little when Bitcoin broke $100,000 because naturally liquidity comes from the altcoins to fuel Bitcoin higher. But now that we are above $100,000, we can see that Bitcoin dominance is continuing its downtrend. Now, if you remember correctly, the ultimate altcoin season that I was hoping for required 1, a Bitcoin above $100,000, and 2, which isn't here yet, for us to move from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing, meaning the government starts printing more money. We're not at that stage yet, but Bitcoin is indeed above $100,000. And so this could be a very solid altcoin season, but it still won't be the explosive altcoin season that I am predicting for 2025. Speaking of altcoins, I'm sure you've heard the news. The Hawk Tuah girl launched her own cryptocurrency, and it reached a $500 million market cap right after launch, only to crash down below $50 million in market cap. A ton of investors got destroyed here. And while I do think it is a little bit sad for people that invested in this project, it just goes to show that celebrity coins are no-goes. Now, obviously, she had a team to help her out with all of the technicalities of this project, so she is not 100% at fault. But this is a pretty horrifying chart, and it just goes to show that you just shouldn't trust celebrity coins. They always get rugged. I even remember, I think it was Jason Derulo that launched his own token. That one rugged as well. And we can see that people have been affected by this. Someone put in $1.4 million and ended up coming out with $46,000 back. That is horrifying. But one of the things that's coming to light is the fact that a lot of people say that if you invested in this project, you actually deserved to lose money, because it's a Hawk 2 meme. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you put your money in this project? But I don't necessarily side with that, because on this channel, we've been talking about the kind of meme coins that I've been putting my money in, and they have greatly outperformed the rest of the market. And so it's a little bit of a tricky situation, but a fundamental rule that I follow is that if it's a famous person launching a coin, I likely won't be participating, because this is exactly what can happen. On the topic of altcoins, we have to look at others, which is the cryptocurrencies outside of the top 10 by market cap. We still have not breached the high in 2021. And so this means that the mini altcoin season that you're seeing right now is nothing compared to when we finally break this all-time high range, which I fully expect to happen in 2025. Now, some people are calling for an explosive move into the end of the year, right up until Trump's inauguration. And while this could very well be possible because we have a lot of momentum on our side, one of the things that I've been warning you about is the fact that the funding rates are currently extremely high, which means a lot of people are using leverage and are paying premiums to do so. So usually when the funding rates are this high, it means that there will be some kind of flush out in the market. Now, in an explosive bull market, the funding rates can remain high, so you do need to remember that as well. That being said, I think there will be better opportunities to accumulate altcoins once this flush out happens, and I wouldn't be too worried about getting left behind. Okay, I can see here now that as I'm recording this video, Bitcoin actually dumped below the $100,000 mark. So please be careful here with leverage, because it is very frothy at the moment. Okay, so Bitcoin surpassed $100,000 and we finally broke that milestone. Altcoins are continuing to run now that Bitcoin has kind of slowed down, but we do need Bitcoin to consolidate somewhere here. Even if it's right under $100,000 or preferably above, altcoins will start to run. But these drastic price movements for Bitcoin don't give alts the opportunity to really run as they would like to. So to me, a Bitcoin sitting at, say, $103,000 comfortably would be very nice for our altcoins. But since we surpassed the $100,000 milestone, if we were to consolidate right below it or around that area, it would still be very bullish for altcoins. So we need to keep track of what Bitcoin is doing, because it will ultimately determine the rest of the market at this point. Speaking of the rest of the market, yesterday I shared with you that I opened a speculative short on XRP, and I just want to confirm that we cashed out $1,800 on that short. The reason I closed it so soon is because I know you shouldn't be shorting in a bull market, but XRP looked very overheated, so I took the opportunity and closed that trade today. That being said, I did open up another trade, which I announced on my Twitter, and that trade is a long position on Peanut. Here's my thesis. So in my latest YouTube video, I talked about the fact that one of the easiest ways to make quick gains within the crypto market is to try to front run the Coinbase listings. And we saw that Coinbase announced that they were going to list Mog, Mudang, Giga, and Turbo. But there are still a lot of reputable meme coins that they have not yet announced that they would list. In my previous video, I had mentioned Popcat and Goat as potential contenders. But taking a look at the chart and taking a look at some of the hints that Coinbase has been giving us informed me to make the trade on Peanut instead. And the reason being is because before they listed Mudang, which if you didn't know, their logo is a little hippo, they posted this on their Instagram feed a few weeks back. It was essentially a chart of the total crypto market cap with a hippo in the chart. And naturally, they went ahead and they listed Mudang, which is a hippo. Then I saw that a few days back, they actually published this. Now, what does that look like to you? Now, I'm not saying that this will always play out, but it seems like they're starting to give us hints, and they have not officially announced that Peanut would be on Coinbase. And so with that, and looking at the Peanut chart compared to Popcat and Goat, we can see that we're kind of making this rounded bottom formation. And so I think that there is a higher probability that this one catches a move to the upside than the other ones. And because of this, I announced on my Twitter that I would be entering along at the 1.32 level. And you can see that my trade is currently $500 in profit. If you're looking to trade crypto to make some nice gains or speculate on potential opportunities in the crypto market, I would highly recommend to sign up to the first link in my description to Weeks, where they allow you to have a $20,000 bonus and you can trade crypto there, open up positions as you like. And by the way, this is exactly what I was talking about. Bitcoin actually just went below $99,000. So we are seeing a little bit of a dip. And because Bitcoin hasn't quite consolidated yet, this means that altcoins will be a little bit shaky. Going back to my original post here, where I think that we will have better opportunities to accumulate these altcoins in our spot bags. Now, the trading positions that I do are highly speculative just to make some quick gains and should not be construed as financial advice. As always, I'm just sharing with you what I do with my portfolio. And one thing that you really need to consider when you're trading other cryptocurrencies with leverage is the fact that Bitcoin still determines the rest of the market. And so if Bitcoin does have a flash crash, you need to be careful because those positions could very likely get wiped out. And here's a little bit of alpha about selecting the right altcoins for this bull market. If you can identify altcoins that are still performing relatively well when Bitcoin has corrections, so in other words, they correct a lot less severely than other altcoins, or they hardly correct at all, that would be a green flag that the altcoin will likely hold up well in the market as it starts moving higher. But if your altcoin completely collapses and has no buyers when Bitcoin corrects even slightly, that is a sign that you should probably let go of that altcoin and look for a new one. And that sums up today's quick video. Bitcoin hit $100,000. Altcoins are starting to perform well, but as Bitcoin tries to find an area to consolidate, it will be a little bit shaky for altcoins. If we have any kind of serious dips, they will provide very good opportunities to accumulate the strongest altcoins in the market. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.